Hi, it's Derek coming to you from my basement office. Just wanted to talk a little bit about easy phone skills segment here and how to ask questions. So, questions are an incredibly important part of being on the phone, whether you're in customer service, whether you're in sales, whether you're in network marketing, consulting. You really can't understand another person. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. We can't really understand another person well if we are doing, a lousy job of asking questions, or if we just say, "Hey, you go ahead and ask whatever questions you want, and I'll just answer them for you." While that is a very uh, potentially helpful thing, and should be some part of your conversation, that isn't necessarily how we want to begin a call. As much as it depends on us, right? Because we are in a situation where that person has limited time, and we aren't necessarily going to be able to ask every question that we would like. But we ask questions for multiple reasons. One, it helps to give us some semblance of control of the conversation. That is important because we want to go somewhere with that phone call. We want to take them to some kind of a next step, right? But also, it also then helps us to do what I mentioned a minute ago in helping us to actually understand the caller. If we let them ask the questions, we're going to potentially understand some things about them, but we're not going to necessarily get them where they need to go. For example, if I'm going to a museum and I say, okay, I just tell you where I want to go. Yes, you just tell me. Okay. Well, how about Thomas Jefferson? So you go to the thing about Thomas Jefferson, and then you say, okay, Abraham Lincoln, and then you go to the thing about Abraham Lincoln, and then you go to some other thing, right, at the museum. Well, now you have just gone zigzag all over maybe a potentially huge place, and you've kind of gotten a little bit in piece here, but you don't really know about the museum. You just really know about those few things. And you might say, well, those are the only few things I really need to know. Well, that may or may not be true. But by being exposed to the entire museum, or at least getting a snapshot of everything in the museum really quick, even if we just kind of rush through and look at everything really quick, you can at least know what's really going on. And that is what questions can do. They can help you as the consultant, etc., to help the person on the phone to navigate where they really need to go in a place where they might not really know where to go, or just be completely unaware of how to proceed. And that is important. And so, how do we ask questions? I learned this from sales trainer Steve Riddell. And it's really simple. You can learn it from a lot of places, not just from him. But the idea of asking questions that are open ended, rather than are yes no. We ask yes no questions with words like do you, are you, will you be, those kinds of things. Do you like, you know, um, and those kinds of questions where they basically end in a yes, no. You might get some more information after that, but they're effectively a yes and a no question. And so when you, or at least a short word, one word, then what word would you say describes you? Blue, red, green, or yellow? Okay, those kinds of questions are not the kind we want to hit on. So here are you ready? You might want to write these down. Um, but they're really easy, and probably for a lot of us, they're obvious, right? They're questions like what, who, where, when, why. So the five W's, right? What, who, where, when, why. They can be said in any order, really. And then also the question, how, and the question is not really a question. Uh, Tell me. It's more of a statement, right? So who, what, where, why, when, how, tell me. And those are questions that we can ask and say, okay, when we're looking at trying to figure out, some people call it probing, getting an understanding of that person's needs, right? And especially if we're in sales or network marketing, we want to understand what the person needs, and we actually want to help them. I'm of the opinion that you actually want to help them, even if your product or service or whatever it is isn't going to be the right answer for them. You want to try to help them some other way. You actually just want to be helpful because it's the right thing to do, right? So that's my take on it. Um, but the whole reason I'm mentioning these things is to say, hey, we've got a situation where if we can ask the right question, so the word what is it that you're looking for as far as making money from home? Um, where do you see yourself um, in 5 years? I mean, maybe we don't ask questions like that on an initial call. It all depends on context, right? But these are just examples. When when do you want to be making X amount of dollars per month by? Um, why do you need to earn money? What's got you looking around? What question? Where, who, what, where, when, why? I think I got them all. If I didn't, I apologize. How? How can I help you navigate this um, whole process? You mentioned that answer. Tell me more about that. So there's where the tell me comes in. Tell me more. Can I hear some more about that? I mean, I recognize that's a yes or no question, but it just opens up the conversation. And what we do then is we listen very carefully to what they're saying, and we take careful notes, either in our head or writing them down, typing them, whatever. But we are listening critically to what they are saying, and then using that information to drive where we need to go in the call. And that can help us. Now, I recognize not everybody's in a situation where they have that kind of freedom on a call. But if you do, you want to use questions to open it up, and you'd be amazed. So, the third reason that we ask questions, among many, is that we want to allow that person to do a lot of the talking. There are some statistics that say, some studies and so forth that say, okay, what we really want is to be able to talk like 40% of the time and have the caller talk at least 60% of the time. Things like that. Those numbers could be all different depending on the studies you look at. But the point is that you want that person to talk more than you as much as possible. Because if they feel like they're being heard, then you're going to have great success in that call. There's a lot to questions. There's a lot to doing all of this. There's rapport aspects of it. There are gathering great information. There is helping them to feel like you can be trusted. Because people buy from people they like and people they trust. So all of these things are aspects of it. But easy phone skills, asking good questions, it can start as easily as figuring out what word you want the question to start with. And if you can figure that out, that will go a long way. Obviously, you want to have some things to ask, so have some preparation. And you know, I've been guilty, probably even in this video, of not preparing the questions well enough. But I would say that if we can do that, folks, we can have a lot better success on the phone. So just another easy phone skill. Hope this has been helpful. If you want to see what our team is doing in network marketing, it's actually kind of cool and exciting. So there'll be a link in the description for that too. But God bless you. Thanks so much.